to know what's the meaning of your name. I mean, it sounds so royal, Hashneen Chauhan. What does it mean? It's beautiful.
So Hashneen is basically a person who always keeps smiling, is always positive and happy.
Do you think the male actor gets more opportunities as compared to the female ones, or there's some kind of disparity?
Disparities do exist.
Your Chaupal original film is coming up, and Sab Fadey Jaange.
Yes.
So what is it about?
So as the title suggests, Sab Fadey Jaange. So it is, totally engulfed with mystery. And it's a thriller, it's a murder mystery which gets resolved. It's a single night story. And I'm very sure people are going to enjoy it. It's a very different type of content. We usually don't get to see this type of content in Punjabi cinema.
Hello Hashneen, welcome to the Indian Express.
Hi Ribha, thank you so much for having me here.
I'm so excited. For the longest time I've been wanting to interview you, and today you're here, so I'm very excited.
Thank you, I'm happy being here too.
So before we begin the conversation, I want to know what's the meaning of your name. I mean, it sounds so royal, Hashneen Chauhan. What does it mean? It's beautiful.
Actually, my name, it was put up by my Masi ji, and so everybody, because I've been facing this question from a very long time, so everybody used to ask, what does Hashneen really mean? And for a very long time, I honestly did not know the meaning of my name. But now eventually I do know it. So Hashneen is basically a person who always keeps smiling, is always positive and happy.
I think you justify the name quite well, because you're always positive, smiling, and with your
I try to
dimples.
at least.
So Hashneen, I think we are quite a match, because we have graduated from the same college, and
Yes.
then we have done English literature, both of us, and we are working in the same industry, but
Yes.
obviously in different roles.
Yeah.
So how did you come into this industry after studying literature? I mean, how did that transition happen?
Actually, it was never really a transition, because I was always interested in it, and since I was a child, I always knew that I wanted to become an actor. When I used to watch TV, I used to get fascinated, and I used to dance in front of the mirror. I've literally grown up that way, dancing in the middle of the night in front of the mirror and doing all that jazz. So I always knew that I wanted this, but it's just that you never really have enough confidence to speak it up to your parents and say, I want to become an actor. So that took time. That actually took time. And after my graduation, all my friends, they went to abroad, and it was never an option for us in our family.
Yeah.
So my father never wanted that his children should, go to a different country and start everything all together. So then I thought, if I have to stay here, then I might as well at least do what I want to do. So I was just told that complete your education and keep trying alongside.
So
that's
how
okay.
did you actually, convince your dad, because he's a police officer, and I am not sure how easy or difficult it would have been. Could you please tell us about that?
This is a question again that I face very often, but convincing my family wasn't really a hard part, because they knew what I was. They've seen me since childhood. I told you, I had this aspiration since childhood. They knew it. I was like that student in school, who was always found on the stage, always holding the mic, always dancing, and always participating in all the curriculum activities. So they always knew that she is very much interested towards this, but it's just that not having any background from this field, it always scares parents.
Yeah,
and
it does.
That's just the only fear that they have in their mind, but somehow they did not let their fear
Come in between.
come in between the way of my dreams.
Right, I've seen you quite often in college, participating in all the fests and all the cultural activities as well. So I think you were quite active that time as well. So Hashneen, you never had this formal training to be an actor, right? So how easy was it for you to become an actor and to act on camera for the first time, perhaps?
I never had a formal training in acting for a very long time. As in, when I did my first project, I just did it, and it was after that I joined theatre, and I learned theatre for a year. But everything, then again it goes back to childhood, because I have been seeing films, I have been observing films, so I had it in the back of my mind.
So what is your mantra basically? I mean, be natural or
be natural. Well, at least for a very long time, till the time I hadn't taken any formal training, my mantra was just be natural, because that was the new kind of acting that had come into these days, because the acting in 90s was very dramatic,
I know.
and that is not what we do these days. And these days, everybody just, if in one word somebody has to tell you that you do this thing, just be natural. They just tell you be natural. Don't try to imitate anybody. Don't try to fit into a character. Just try to be natural. So this much knowledge I had that okay, this is what you have to do.
So what changed after the formal training?
After the formal, see that there are two things. This is surface acting, that you've seen films, you know how things are done, you understand films. But then once you start learning about acting, you start getting into the depth.
Exactly.
You start getting to learn about the characters, how stories are built, how characters are built, what detailing is required. So all those things, so that happened after I got myself enrolled into the formal part of it.
So you learned quite a lot from the formal training.
Quite much, yes.
So Hashneen, you did your first project in 2018, Yaar Jigri Kasuti Degree.
Yeah.
And after that, the pandemic happened. How did you deal with it? I mean, for a new actor who has just come into the industry and who has just started working and you are faced with such adversity, how did you deal with it actually?
Actually, in 2018, when Yaar Jigri Kasuti Degree came out, I was studying at that time. I was doing my post-graduation and it was almost about to get completed, and that came as a surprise because none of us ever expected. I just went in for that show because I knew that I had to start from somewhere, and I never knew that the show was ever going to be successful. And I started getting offered more web series after that.
Okay.
And I did 2-3 more web series, and it was that era when web series had just started, to be filmed. So it was just like it was going on, and I was thinking, okay, journey has started. Maybe something big will happen soon. Big will happen soon. But what big actually happens is pandemic takes place. But Tunka Tunka, somehow we happened to shot Tunka Tunka in 2019.
Right.
And it got released in 2021. It was the first release after pandemic. It was the first film that got released after pandemic, and it got such a huge response. And at times I think to myself, like when I'm thinking, just in my own thoughts, when I'm thinking of it, had Tunka Tunka released during normal time periods, probably it would never have been that kind of a hit. It was a good film. I'm not saying that the credibility is not there, but maybe there's some magic about the time as well. It was destined to release after COVID, the first release after it, and
it was a hit.
Yes, and then
so that's how you be optimistic about it, and yes, it was the right time.
Yeah.
So Hashneen, since you don't have a background in the industry, how difficult, or what are the challenges that you have faced to bag more projects in this line?
Ribha, I don't think that even the ones who do have a background in Punjabi film industry, they don't have to face challenges, because even they do have to. I did a film with Pukhraj.
Okay.
So in Pukhraj,
Jaswinder Bhalla's son.
He's Jaswinder Bhalla's son, and he also started with the same web series that I did with.
Right.
So we often discuss this at that, during our shoot. We used to discuss about it. He's done so many films as in character roles as well.
Right.
So I don't think that in Punjabi industry, at least as of now, you get a lot of benefit if you belong from a particular background, because the audience really wants to see you proving yourself. Here it's a different type of culture. Here singers are benefited as actors.
Right.
So you can't really mix Pollywood and Bollywood into the same category. But of course it's difficult. Not having any background, not having any references does make it difficult, but
again, it's the same.
It's the same.
It's the same for everyone. So you're being fair in that part. So if I talk about you as a female actor, again, then what is the difference? I mean, do you think the male actor gets more opportunities as compared to the female ones, or there's some kind of disparity in the industry in that context?
Disparities do exist. Very frankly, very openly, they do exist. I mean, if we just get on to the character part of any film, we do not have proper full-fledged female character roles.
Right. True.
Right. Even the lead in a Punjabi film, most of the time she's just an eye candy.
Right.
She just has 2-3 songs to play and 2-3 glamour looks, and that's you're done for the film.
So
though things are changing, it's not that they're not changing, but it still happens on a huge scale.
But like, do you as an actor try to tell the director or the producer, okay, don't you think that you should have a more prominent character for a female than this, or do you just accept it the way it comes?
It really depends upon the position where you are, because like being a beginner, I would never say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Being a beginner, I would
That's
never
like risking
go.
your career.
Yeah. So being a beginner, I would never go tell a director, you know, you should have at least
Yeah, you should be like
lengthened my part a little bit. There should be more prominence. I'd be happy, like, okay, oh, I've got to this role. But no, actually, the thing is, we need more female writers for
Yes.
more female. For more important characters for females. If we have more writers, more directors, I mean, we have female actors, a lot of them. There's a lot of competition. Girls are pursuing this field. We have models, but we do not have female writers. We do not have female DOPs. We do not have female directors. So that makes a huge difference. When you have females working behind the camera, you'll have more part for females on screen as well. In terms of their character and in terms of, you know, the stories and whatever vision they carry.
So Hashneen, you were talking about, you know, a singer being actors or actors turning into singers. Do you have any plans to take up singing as a career, or do you sing for that matter?
I love singing though, but I love singing.
So please sing
just
a song for us.
No,
That's okay. I mean, we'll appreciate it anyway.
I
Sing
can't
anything.
do that. I really can't do that.
2 lines perhaps. Maybe you know so many bolias. You can put that also.
Oh my God, I've been putting bolias everywhere.
We would love to hear it from you.
I'll just sing a song rather.
Okay. Good.
So this is one of my favorite songs. Tere bin sanu sohniya koi hor nahiyo labna jo deve ruh nu sukoon chuke jo nakhra mera.
Thank you so much, Hashneen. That was very sweet of you. You were just sport. Thank you so
Just don't judge me for it.
much.
As
We've
long as
already
you
judged
don't.
You're good. You're sweet. We've already judged you.
I don't think so.
So, Hashneen, what are the kind of characters that you intend to perform in future? I mean, the kind of roles that you would want to get and from the producers and the directors.
Definitely female-oriented roles, because you know there's so much that needs to be said, and so much that is never understood, especially in the society that we live in. So if it is written in a very well manner which makes a change in society, I would love to do that kind of a role.
So Hashneen, I see you as quite an inspiration, because you know you have come from a totally different environment, and you are pursuing this career. Do you have any suggestions or some words of inspiration for youngsters, like females especially, who want to come into the industry, work in different departments or whatever roles that they fit in? Because sometimes, you know, they're scared, okay, we don't know what it would be to be here. So do you have some words of inspiration so that they can actually, you know, make a decision that, okay, we are going to go here and work there in the industry?
If I have to share a word of inspiration, I think the first thing that I would like to say is that, one, you should be very sure of what you want to do. You know, because most of the times what happens with the film industry is it fascinates you, but you're not sure if you actually belong there or not. You know, sometimes you try for it and you're like, no, this is not my cup of tea. It's okay if one learns after trying, but you should really know yourself before entering into the industry, and you should really understand the work if you're capable of it. And if you think you belong there, you know, you should just stride in towards it and be true to yourself, and I think just move with ethics and everything's good. I don't think there's any bad over here, and you know, as soon as your conduct is fine, you moving with your ethics, and you're talented and you're hardworking and you're refusing to give up, you'll land somewhere.
Right, so it's the strength in your character that can take you far in this industry. So Hashneen, moving on, your Chaupal original film is coming up, and Sab Fadey Jaange.
Yes.
So what is it about?
So as the title suggests, Sab Fadey Jaange. So it is, you know, totally engulfed with mystery, and you know, it's a thriller, it's a murder mystery which gets resolved. It's a single night story, and I'm very sure people are going to enjoy it. It's a very different type of content. We usually don't get to see this type of content in Punjabi cinema. It's like very experimental and new.
So it's just like, you know, one night explained in the entire film?
Yes.
Oh. And what's your role in it?
So my character's name in this film is Reet, and so this is the night before my wedding.
Oh,
so
like the next,
yeah, so I'm getting married the next morning, but there are some incidents that, you know, some strange incidents that take place just a night before, and so the whole story revolves around that.
Okay, do you get married then in the end, or do
you
have to
watch the film for that?
Okay. So, can you share with us some of the experiences of the film that, while shooting, if you have some crazy experiences or something?
Not really crazy, but I mean, obviously the shooting days were good because we shot mostly at nights. Mostly we shot just during at nights, but and it was really cold. I remember it was January last year when we were shooting for it. And so there was this one particular scene where we were three girls, two of my friends and I, and Harish is driving us. That this is this whole scene that has to be performed, and Harish sir is very silent, calm and composed. He has this personality, and those two girls who are my friends, they are very talkative girls. Okay, so that is just how they are. That's their nature. And our scene had to be shot for good 1 hour, and those two girls, they did not stop talking, and I was just wondering, what is he thinking? What is going on in his head? Like, he will burst at this moment and he'll be like, keep going. But then he was still very patient with it. And then after our scene, just we wrapped up with the scene, and I was like, did you get disturbed? And he was like, yeah, a little bit.
But he was kind enough not to shout. Yeah. So how many nights did it actually take you to shoot this single night in the movie?
The whole schedule, I think it was for almost 30 days, but my part constituted for almost a week.
Okay, so how excited are you for this film? And also, your another film, Hawa, is coming up very soon. So how are you, feeling about both these projects that are coming up?
I'm very excited for both these projects, and these are my first projects with Chaupal, the first originals that I'm doing, and it's my first project for 2023 as well, first release so I really hope it goes well, so the year begins well. And both of them are very different in their own context. Sab Fadey Jaange is a mystery and a thriller, and Hawa is a horror comedy.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, very different projects, and I hope that the audience also accepts these kind of projects, because that gives us the motivation to try different things as artists as well.
True that. Even I would want to request the audience to download and subscribe to Chaupal and go and watch Sab Fadey Jaange, which is releasing on 16th of February. And please do watch Hashneen perform in that. And Hashneen, you're really beautiful. What I've seen in you is that you're simple and beautiful. So what is your style statement, if I ask you?
I think you just said it. Simple
and beautiful. But are you following someone for that, or is it just how it naturally
No, actually, no. The thing is, I really cannot put a lot of effort. I'm a lazy person, to be very honest with that. So even when today I had to get ready, there's this friend of mine who's done my makeup, and she's like, what should we do with your hair? And should we make a bun? I said, no, please just simply straight it and I'll go. So yeah, I'm actually lazy. I try to avoid getting ready for as long as I can. When I do have to, then I do. Of course, when I'm at my home, I'm wearing some color kind of pajama with some other t-shirt, and it's only when I really have to go somewhere, I'll make some effort and then go out.
So you say you're naturally beautiful. मैं तो ऐसे ही खूबसूरत
नहीं, naturally. No, I won't like to brag for that, but I mean, I don't know what to say right now.
Right. So Hashneen, what are your plans for 2023? Like, after these two movies, are you planning on working on some other projects, or are you planning on taking some break and relax and chill?
I definitely plan on doing a good project. So like any next project that I'm going to do, it's going to be very selective. So even if I have to wait for a little while, I might as well. So I mean, there's nothing that I'm headed for as of now, but I'm pretty sure that whatever I'm going to do next, it's going to be very selective.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I wish you all the very best for your next projects. Whatever you may decide, I'm sure it is going to be different and the best for you. And it was lovely having you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ribha. Thank you.